It's pretty great. We had worse living conditions before we came across Habitat. You know, had a small apartment. We started having more kids, and we needed more space to live in. Me and my wife were first living in a 2-bedroom apartment. We had 3 kids over the time, and came across Habitat through a friend of ours, and we applied, and were accepted. And we put in hours and everything, and we're here now. A couple years later.
Nate and Zane built their own house.
Yeah, a few of them worked along over here.
How many hours did you have to do?
I primarily did 220, right? I did 220 and my wife did 150.
So just to do the math for you, 220 hours would be 9 months of Saturdays. So it's quite a commitment that our homeowners make on the front end just to be able to get to the settlement table.
So how does your mortgage payment compare to what you were paying in rent for your apartment?
It's pretty close, but now we have a house as opposed to a 2-bedroom apartment. You know what I mean? So that's a big difference for us.
What were your skills that enabled you to participate in the home building?
I grew up doing contract work with my uncle, so I was pretty familiar with the construction work and stuff like that. But I did learn a lot. Still work here with Habitat.
How about Zane?
My wife works for banks most of the time that she's been over here. She's from Jamaica, but it was a new experience for her and most of the other homeowners. Not a lot of people know about coming out and working in the cold and stuff like that. Habitat works all year, all year round.
How did you hear about the program?
A friend of my wife's. She knew somebody who received a home, and she knew somebody that she worked with told her about the program. Yeah.
So when our homeowners first come into our program, one of the things that we do is we put them through a construction and home maintenance training. So we teach them how to use tools. Nate already knew that, but you know that helps them feel more comfortable once they get out here to the construction site, because we want them to be equal participants with the volunteers doing whatever it takes. And then obviously long term, it's their house. We want them to, you know, to feel confident about taking care of it. And Judy, you had asked about, is there an organization that they join? Not formally, but you know, Nate and Zane and their neighbors worked on each other's houses, and they went through the program together. So the other thing we're trying to sow here is this aspect of community, is to be looking out for each other. And you know, how many of us get to say not only that we helped build our house, but we knew our neighbors before they moved in. So that was
that's actually a big thing as well, because at our old apartment we lived there for about 8 or 9 years, and we only knew the people on each side of us. You know what I mean? And one person across the street here. Like you said, we know everybody in the development. You know what I mean? First name basis, we speak every time. You know what I mean? So that's a big plus as well. And everybody does try to look out for each other around here.
How about your alumni group? You've got an organization going on after they move in that they can be a part of.
So I do want to introduce Beverly and Kirsten. They are our family services department. So they're in charge of the family selection process, the family support process when our families go through our program. And then as you mentioned, there's an alumni group, and that's really trying to get the homeowners involved after they've moved in to stay engaged with us, the other training, the other information. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, we try to do sessions about once a quarter, sometimes a little more than that. We just did a home repair emergency class. We had about 12 people show up for that class, and basically what we taught them is, you know, different things that happen in an emergency. If you smell gas, call Delmarva, don't call Habitat. Here are the people you should be calling, and giving them a little tips on repairs. And we're planning on doing a tile class to show them how to install tile in March. So we just do different things. We ask them, you know, what they'd like to see, and we try to put on those classes for them. We also continue the financial education too. We're doing one coming up called Vacation or Staycation. So whether you can afford to go on vacation or whether you should stay home and do some things locally.
Also, all the furniture in here is donated in
it's from our Restore, so it had been donated to the Restore, and it's on loan for the open house. So this is a sample of some of the things we have there.
And the artwork, of course, is from the brainchild of Annabelle, so this is just a sampling of the artwork that just continues to come in to us.
Yeah.
What a difference.